Messi letting an entire country down? Mbappe almost starting a family civil war? Damn! These are the 8 players who betrayed their countries. And wait till you see the stuff Diego Costa did that almost had him killed. But first up, Erling Haaland missed out on the chance to create the deadliest attack in international football. Haaland is a beast. He's still only 23, but he's won the Champions League, Premier League, and smashed the record for the most goals in a season. For Norway, Haaland's record is equally impressive. The dude has 24 goals in 25 games. But you see, guys, it could have all been different if Haaland had chosen another path. Even though both his parents are from Norway, Erling was born in the city of Leeds, while his dad still played for the club in 2000, meaning he was eligible to represent England at the national team level. Still, Erling chose Norway. And his reasons are pretty clear. I lived in Norway for such a long time, so then it was natural for me to choose Norway. Imagine Haaland, Kane, and Rashford in the same England team, man. They'd have defenders pissing themselves. It's easy to understand why Haaland chose Norway, but for Jamal Musiala, it was the ultimate betrayal. Jamal's case is pretty interesting. His dad is a Nigerian who moved to Germany and got married to Jamal's mom, and that's where he was born, in Stuttgart. But when Jamal was just 7, they moved to England, and Jamal joined the Chelsea Academy to develop his skills. Immediately, the national youth team coaches saw Jamal play. They knew the kid was talented, and soon, Jamal was already linking up with ballers like Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden in the England under-17s. Everyone thought he was going to be part of the next generation of England ballers. But in 2021, just before the start of the Euros, Jamal decided to play for Germany because he was born there. And according to him, it felt right. Talk about shattered dreams. The English fans were crushed. But at least they weren't losing out on both ends, because while Jamal decided to leave, they had another next-generation baller itching to get some Three Lions action. Bukayo Saka isn't your typical English name, and that's because both his parents are from Nigeria. His parents migrated to London in the 90s, and Saka was born there in 2001. From an early age, the kid showed signs of becoming a real talent, and he represented England at all youth levels until it was time to choose what national team he wanted to play for. Saka was born in England, so his decision should have been natural. But it wasn't that easy, man, because the Nigerian FA were pressing on him to come play for them, and even sent officials to convince him. England wasn't going to give up on Saka that easily, so they too had conversations with him. And once Saka heard Gareth Southgate was planning on calling him up to the national team, it was game over. He chose England. Damn, 2 countries fighting over you is wild. But 3? Just ask Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is a machine. Goals, assists, skills. He won his first World Cup as a teenager, man. I couldn't even bag a high school date. Right after bursting onto the scene with Monaco in 2016, Mbappe was one of the most hyped kids in the globe, and legit had countries fighting for him. His dad, Wilfred Mbappe, is from Cameroon, and his mom, Faiza Lamri, is from Algeria. But you know the crazy part? Mbappe was born in France. Now, he had a really tough decision to make, because all 3 countries wanted him to put on their national team jersey. And in the end, Mbappe had already made up his mind. But just before you jump to any conclusions, it was in France. I wanted my son to play for the Cameroon national team, but the Football Federation charged a certain amount that I didn't have. That was Kylian's dad talking. And because of that, Mbappe decided to play for France instead. With 1 World Cup, a Golden Boot, and a UEFA Nations League title later, I guess it's safe to say he turned out alright. Can't say the same for Messi though, because if he'd chosen differently, he could have ended the GOAT debate in 2010. Back when he was just starting out in the early 2000s, Messi was already showing the whole world how talented he was. And because of this, there was some serious heat about his international future. By this time, the dude who drafted Messi's first contract at Barca, Carles Rexach, wanted Messi to stay in Spain all his career. So he began pushing to the Spanish FA to get Messi on the national team. But Messi's form had already attracted Argentina's attention, and once they found out the stuff Rexach wanted to do, they immediately arranged 2 under-20 friendlies against Paraguay and Uruguay, just so Messi could make his debut. And after scoring 3 goals in these 2 games, he got promoted to the under-20s, under-23s, and then the senior team. According to Messi himself, picking Argentina was a no-brainer. But just imagine Leo in that epic Spanish team that won the Euros in 2008 and 2012 and the World Cup in 2010. He could have iced Ronaldo early on. Messi decided not to play for Spain because of his love for his home country. But Pepe chose the other way for the same reason. Pepe is a football legend. Facts. Yeah, the dude might act crazy sometimes and hit an off switch. I mean, seriously, who would want to get into an argument with him? But the truth is, he's one of the greatest defenders of his generation. When it comes to international football, Pepe is one of the first names for the Portuguese national team and is still going strong even at 40. But there's just one catch. He isn't even Portuguese. Well, technically at least, because he was born in Brazil and only moved to Portugal as an 18-year-old on trial at Marítimo Funchal. But after seeing how kind the people of Portugal are and falling in love with the country, Pepe accepted the offer to play for the other Seleção in 2007 and hasn't looked back ever since. He since then won the Euros and the Nations League and even became the oldest player to score in the World Cup after a thumping header against Switzerland in the round of 16 last year. Pepe ditched Brazil because of the love from the other side. But for Diego Costa, it was all out of pure hate. Diego Costa is one of the most controversial ballers in the history of the game. And in 2013, he reached the height of it. See, Costa was born in Brazil and was automatically up for the Brazilian national team selection. And after an impressive season at Atletico Madrid in 2012, Costa got called up to the national team the following year for friendlies against Italy and Russia. Now, with Brazil looking for a new number 9 for the World Cup on home turf, Costa was expected to lead the line at the tournament. But in December that year, he dropped a huge bombshell that made everything explode. Costa was granted Spanish citizenship in 2013 and then wrote a letter to the Spanish Federation stating his wish to play for the Spanish national team. The balls on this guy! The Brazilian coach, Luis Felipe Scolari, publicly shamed Costa's actions, removed him from Brazil's selection, and Costa eventually got his wish and was now registered as a Spanish player by the FA. See guys, not every baller switching countries is like Costa. Some dudes don't have a choice. And for Alphonso Davies, the only reason he switched national teams is because they saved his life. Alphonso Davies was born in Ghana, but at the 2022 World Cup, he was the captain of Canada. And here's why. See, both his parents are from Liberia, but they had to leave the country during a civil war and moved to Ghana. Over there, the conditions weren't any better. And according to Davies himself, they sometimes had to carry guns for their safety. Davies and his parents eventually migrated to Canada, and after settling in, he quickly began developing his football skills, got signed to the Vancouver Whitecaps, and from there, got the move of a lifetime to join Bayern Munich. Davies made his debut for the Canadian national team in June 2017, at just 16 years, becoming the youngest baller to ever do so. He also stated that the Ghanaian FA tried to reach out to him after hearing of his move to Bayern. But by then, it was already too late, because he decided to be loyal to the country that saved his life and gave him a career. Guys, I'm a huge Davies fan to be honest. And not just because I've watched all his TikTok reels, but also because he subscribed to Goal Zone by hitting the button down below. Oh yeah, that's my homie right there.